Hello, everybody. Welcome in today. We're going to be talking about your college interview today. So this is your interview preparation workshop, ACE your US college application. I'm Anmida Davalos. I'm currently a student at the University of Chicago, and I'm going to be hosting this session for you. So the formats of a college interview, there's mainly 3 different ones, and I'm going to get into that. So it can be in person. This usually happens when you live in an area with a lot of alumni. So this could be a larger city, or if you if you live somewhere near the university. So here at the university, the admissions office will offer an interview in person, and you'll usually need to add a public space like a coffee shop or a library. And here the alum is going to come in, ask you a couple questions, and then they have 24 hours to write a report on the meeting. These can be a little nerve-wracking, especially because it's in person and you're meeting a stranger, but it's really not that different from an online one. You're just there in person and the same rules apply. The more common ones, especially after COVID, was the online admissions interview. So these are usually held on Zoom. The admissions office will email back and forth to arrange a date that works for you both. And so you and your interviewer, usually they use an app where you choose what time works for you and make sure you choose something that actually does work for you. It can be really stressful to try to make it there on time. It's just better to plan for a good solid time. And you go on the Zoom and you talk to the person for a few minutes. Usually these are 30 minutes to an hour long. And because they have a lot of people to interview, the online ones usually go for exactly the amount of time. So they say 30 minutes, they'll usually cut it at the 30-minute mark. Next, this is some new ones, but the video submission. So the university might offer for you to submit a video instead of having a classic interview. These videos can be optional and usually have a time limit. So it's usually like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. In these cases, the university might want you to highlight areas of your application that are not known on paper, like a hobby or your daily routine. So for example, for the University of Chicago, they don't do interviews, but you can do a video submission. I thought about doing one, but then I realized I was going to be more stressed about it. I didn't know a lot about video editing. So I decided against it and I still got in. It's optional. But I have a friend who, for example, introduced herself and her family and what they ate in a day. Or I had a friend drive in her car and just talk to the camera. It just depends on what you feel most comfortable with, or if you feel like you have to show something to the admissions office, the video is the right way to do it. And for that last one, I have an example for you guys.
Ryan, what are you doing? You were supposed to finish the U Chicago video today, remember? Ryan, you're right. I need to, over there. Calm down, Ryan. Don't worry, I've got something that can help you get started. I've made you a scavenger hunt. I've hidden notes at 3 important locations. Whoa, how did you get this here? See what it says. This is my kitchen. It's where me and my family eat together every night. There's my grandma, mom, dad, brother, cat, and dog. I love taking care of my family and helping them with the hard work. I knew it! This is my piano. Whenever I'm stressed or feeling creative, I go here to make some music. It's not just music that I love. In my free time, I like to express my creativity through origami, digital art, drawing, and coding. I love to see my work become something more than just a hobby, whether it be something interactive or even a way to support others. Guess we're going outside for this one. There's the tennis courts, and there's my school. Every day, I just need to cross the street to get to school. Oh look, there it is. I was right. Let's see what it says. Besides being stationary by a piano or desk, I also make room for athletics and social life. I love going to the outdoors to explore new things or try new things. One time I even started a small movie. Some of my friends would say, "It's a really hard worker. Never gives up. He's super friendly. unique way of fun, and I love interacting with the world and others. Thank you so much for taking the time to get to know me a little better. Wow, those were really good points I can talk about in this video. Now I feel prepared for both the video and the U Chicago annual scavenger hunt. It's okay, I don't think you need to worry about the video anymore.
Okay, so as you guys saw, that was kind of a video profile. This is for the University of Chicago, and then this person got accepted. It was more casual video. He went around showing you important places in his life, and what he does is he showed you the tennis court, his room where he does art and coding, and how important those things are. And as you saw, he didn't really focus on academics only. It was more about the other parts of his life, which is something that the interview is meant to be. It's meant to show your personality. Remember, your grades and your extracurriculars are already shown on paper. They already know you got an A in science, so it's not really important to keep mentioning that. It's more about displaying other parts of your personality. So part 2, what is the function of your college interview? So like I said, it's to, again, further explain parts of your application. When I say to explain extracurricular activities, I don't mean explain, oh, I was part of the debate team. This is where you get the chance to go further into what your role was within the extracurricular. So you can say, oh, I was really afraid of public speaking, and then I joined the debate team, and over the 4 years of my high school participants in it, I really grew as a person, and now I'm no longer scared of public speaking, and I have a passion for it. Things like that. You can also say your different awards or achievements within that, like, oh, I started soccer, and by my senior year, I was a soccer club president and captain, and it was really good opportunity for mentorship because I got to introduce other girls to the sport. Things like that. To display your personality, make sure you talk. Again, this is for you to talk. So make sure you are active and present there with the interviewer, and try to sound enthusiastic about what you're doing. You have to let them know that these things you did in high school were actually something you were passionate about. Tell the interviewer why you want to attend their institution. This is one that's really, really important. People don't really realize, but the college needs to know why you deserve a spot there. So what is your interest in that university? Oh, okay, yes, it's a good school and it's pretty. The university wants to know what else. So you can say, oh, I'm really interested about this program you guys have for people who want to study education and I want to be a part of it. Or, oh, this professor is really inspiring to me and I would love to take a class with him. Things like that. As you saw in the video, he mentioned the Chicago annual scavenger hunt, which is something that U Chicago does. It's a tradition. Things like that are really important to them. Make sure these aren't the obvious ones too. You have to really dig deep and think why you really want to attend their institution. Last is you will also have the opportunity to ask questions about the institution to the interviewer. And this is really important, especially because the interviewer wants to also explain to you maybe what their experience was at the school. So here you're going to ask, oh, what is something you wish you knew before attending? What is something people don't really know about your university? What was your major? What was your favorite professor? What was your favorite class? You have to ask questions to the person. We're going to go over some practice questions. So tell me about yourself. And here you can go further in than the classic, oh, I'm blank, I'm 19 years old and I want to go to your university. Here's where you say, oh, I'm a very active person who's passionate about international relations, and I love doing this and I love that, and I'm hoping to pursue a career in international diplomacy and things like that. Why do you want to study at university? Again, here you have to really dig deep and consider the non-traditional ones. You can't just say, oh, it's a good school. What achievement are you most proud of? Oh, I was really proud when in high school I managed to compete in on our state debate tournament, and I led my home team to that point, and it was about support and mutual aid and help, and we ended up winning 3rd place, but we were still really happy about it because we learned a lot. For example, what would you bring to this university? I hope to be a member of this club, and I want to keep competing in debate. And I also want to bring a different perspective to some classes because I'm an international student. And I feel like it could be a very valuable experience for me. How would your friends describe you? Oh, they would describe me as energetic, empathetic, and kind. Where do you see yourself 10 years from now? Even if you don't know, the whole reason is to not, they don't want to put you on edge. This is just so you can think actually about what you really feel about some of these questions, which is why they don't usually give you a list beforehand. So you can say, oh, I want to do this, this, and that. Or you can be, actually, I'm pretty undecided. One of the reasons why I want to go to your university is because I know they offer a lot of help to students finding a major and finding a career. And that's something I really want to take advantage of if I get the chance to go there. What to avoid, number one, being late. Again, the interviewer set aside time for you, and it's really important that you're respectful of that. Not talking enough or saying only things that are already on your application. Remember, they can see that you got all A's, and they can see that you were that you got all A's and they were capping in this and that. You have to really highlight the parts of the application that they wouldn't know just from reading it. So you can say, oh, I had a lot of family responsibilities because one of my family members got sick. So I would have to be in charge of driving my siblings to school, things like that. Sounding to rehearse, again, this is a chance to display your personality and a reason why the questions aren't memorized before. It has to feel like a conversation. You're really trying to make a connection with the interviewer. Not having any questions to ask, because they will ask, oh, do you have any questions for me? Be like, no, I'm good. No, this is your chance to say, oh, what is the housing situation like? Why did you choose that university? What was your favorite class? What was your hardest semester? Things like that. Not knowing enough about the college you're applying to, again, if you say, oh, it's pretty and it's a good school. There's cases in which maybe they don't have a major you want. You say, oh, I want to be a biomedical psychology major. And they're like, oh, we don't have that major. You really have to know which university you're applying to and why. And last is lying. It's really easy to verify if you're lying. And also there's no reason for you to do it if you're prepared. Takeaways. Talk about things you're passionate about. Keep calm. Prep over questions beforehand. Research specific parts of the institution that inspire you. And speak up. So these are just like the quick tips, really important things to kind of think about, keep in mind, and it'll help you feel more calm before the interview. And you also have to remember the interview is only going to happen once and it's going to be fine. It can't really hurt you that much. A lot of the schools only use the interview as an additional screening, but they don't really count it that much. So don't worry, if you have a good interview, that's great. If you feel like you have a bad interview, first of all, it probably didn't go as bad as you think. And second of all, they're not going to care that much if other parts of your interview, other parts of your application is shown through. These are our social media. These are where you can find the rest of our events, especially on the bit.ly/eventos_CDMX. And we'll have a lot of other intro sessions just like this one, where you can learn all about going to school in the United States and the application process. I would love to see you guys at one of our in-person or our virtual events. Thank you so much. Have a good day.